So Miley Cyrus had some very interesting words about hip hop, okay? Now, she said some stuff and she got some backlash. We're going to get into that in 1 second, but let me explain the journey of Miley Cyrus. She first started off as Hannah Montana, you know, like that was a huge multi-million-dollar company. I remember at one point they marked the company around $100 million, and I should say brand, okay? So she decided to take a break from the scene, right? She took a break from television, music, and all that kind of stuff because she was marketing towards the teeny crowd. So she got older and she wanted to get into what was hip. So let me ask you guys, what's hip and what's always been hip for the last 20 or so years? Hip hop. Hip hop is popular music. Hip hop is what's popular. Hip hop controls what people think is popular. And then she decided she wanted to come to hip hop. Now, as soon as she got on stage, walking around with a goddamn on turkey butt, playing with toys, dilly willies, like the parents were like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not the girl that I told my kid to look up to. Imagine directing your kid in one way to look up to someone as a role model, right? And a few years later, that role model is doing the most extreme stuff. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't look up to that person anymore. Now, she was doing some very extreme stuff. Like it got to the point where she was super trashy. Like she was doing stuff that I've never seen any other R&B woman do. So when she got into hip hop, right? She hired all these hip hop producers like Mike Will Made It. And I guess they were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a bunch of songs for you, and it's going to sound like something Rihanna would sing, okay? So she got into hip hop and she was sounding like Rihanna. I remember when I first heard Can't Stop, Won't Stop, I thought it was a Rihanna song. I look, and it's goddamn Miley Cyrus. Then she started to promote the LGBTQ community, and she was telling people that she liked women and she get with guys too, and she's bi, and like she was just doing all kinds of stuff. And parents were like, whoa, 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 this is not what I want my little kid to hear, okay? Now, Miley Cyrus has decided to clean up her career, and she's all pure now, okay? The person that was the most extreme has decided to clean up their career. So this is what Miley Cyrus had to say about rap. Me reading this, I take away that she's trying to distance herself, but at the same time, to do that, she must condemn everything that she was. And it seemed like she's trying to blame it in a way, because this is what she said, guys. And although I do believe that music does have an influence on the youth, it seems like she's trying to use it as an scapegoat. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section. She said in an interview, she goes, I like Kendrick Lamar Humble because it's not, come sit on my D, come suck my, I can't listen to that anymore. That's what pushed me out of the hip hop scene a little. It was too much. Now this is Miley Cyrus saying that. This is turkey butt Miley Cyrus. This is Miley Cyrus that lets her fans touch her private parts on stage. This is Miley Cyrus that plays with sex dolls on stage. I never seen Drake or anyone else do that. I must continue. It was too much. Lamborghini, got my Rollie, got a girl on my, I'm not into that. This is why you can't let certain people into your culture, because look what happens. She never understood the culture. She came to the culture to milk it. And on her way out, she's trying to tear it down. Think about that for a second. Hip hop has always been this way, or at least the stuff she's saying, it's been that way since the 2000s. So she decided to clear some things up, okay? So she went and she said that, right? Now, people weren't too happy she said that, because this is someone that came into the culture to milk it, pretty much sounded like Rihanna 2.0, and on her way out, she's kicking everybody. So she responded on Instagram, explaining her going pure and leaving hip hop. Wink, wink. And she says, When articles are read, it isn't always considered that for hours I've spoken with the journalists about my life, where my heart is, my perspective at that time. And in the next step of my career, unfortunately, only a portion of that interview makes it to print. And a lot of the time, publications like to focus on the most sensationalized part of the conversation. So to be clear, I respect all artists who speak their truth and appreciate all genres of music, country, pop, alternative, but in this particular interview, I was asked about rap. I have always and will continue to love and celebrate hip hop, as I have collaborated with some of the very best. At this point in my life, I'm expanding personally, musically, and gravitating towards more uplifting, conscious rap. As I get older, I understand the effect music has on the world and seeing where they are today. I feel the younger generation needs to hear positive, powerful lyrics. I'm proud to be an artist without borders and thankful for the opportunity to explore so many different styles, sounds. I hope my words, sung or spoken, always encourage others to love, laugh, live fully. All right, so that's enough with all that, okay? So pretty much she's saying, look, I'm done with all the trash stuff that no one else was doing. I'm done doing it because I influenced my fans very poorly the past 2 or 3 years, okay? You guys know what burns me the wrong way, and I'll tell you right now. What burns me the wrong way is the fact that someone like her, right, as pure as she was before, as pure as she led people to believe, she came to hip hop and R&B or whatever you want to call it, and she was the most trashiest thing that we saw for the past 2 years. Then she leaves and she's speaking all this conscious stuff. Why did you bring this trash and influence all these kids for the past 2 or 3 years just to speak that conscious stuff? It's like someone coming from another school. Your school is clean. They come to your school and they just dirty this shit up. Then 2 years later, they're like, oh, we should clean this place up. What? You're the one that made it so dirty. Like there's no other female artist in hip hop or R&B that is dirtier than Miley Cyrus. And it almost felt like every time she went to the extreme, she went to another extreme just to get attention. And of course, guess what? Attention, in her case, can equal money.